What's going on YouTube? It's Chris here for Friendly Frenzy Games, and today I'm going to give you a brief overview and breakdown of the different in-game currencies that you will find in South Park Snow Day. So the currency that you're introduced to first in the tutorial is TP, or toilet paper. Obviously here, paying homage to the pandemic days when the paper product was a hot commodity, toilet paper in South Park Snow Day serves as a temporary currency that's specific to your current run. Now, toilet paper can be found while exploring maps and breaking a variety of lootable containers like recycling bins and backpacks, but you'll also receive TP for opening red chests and killing enemies. Toilet paper is only used when selecting a card from Jimmy the Bard before exiting the map through a gate. With Jimmy, you'll have a few different options to spend TP. First, you can choose to reshuffle the deck and redraw 3 cards. At 75 TP each reshuffle, this is going to give you a chance to hopefully get more specific cards for your current run build if the cards that were drawn first don't really help you. This is the best way to create some card synergies and really beef up a skill or attack that you're enjoying to make it that much more powerful. Second, if you've been lucky enough to get a good card draw that synergizes well with your build, you can spend TP to upgrade the power and potentially even the rarity of a drawn card before selecting it from Jimmy. Starting at 75 TP to upgrade a common to an uncommon, as these cards become more rare and more powerful, the TP cost to upgrade will increase as well. This is easily the best way to amplify the power of card synergies, especially if you're lucky enough to increase the rarity, as this will offer a much bigger upgrade to the effect than a single power upgrade will. As mentioned off the hop, TP is a temporary currency, meaning more so that whatever you don't use on a run, you're going to lose at the end of a run. For this reason, it can sometimes be pretty tedious exploring maps and cracking open all of these containers to hoard as much toilet paper as you can. But at the same time, it really can make a difference of winning or losing a run, so you're definitely going to need to weigh out your options here. The second most important currency in South Park Snow Day is DM, or dark matter. Now really, this is essentially just feces, and in contrast to the toilet paper, it is a permanent currency. What I mean by that is whatever you collect on a run, up to and including when the run ends, yes, even if you die, you'll carry that dark matter with you to Cartman's backyard. Now for this reason alone, it makes it much more valuable to spend time looking for and looting. Much like toilet paper, you'll get dark matter in many different ways. Lootable containers and red chests can sometimes have dark matter in them, but a purple chest will only carry dark matter in it for you to open and collect. Now also, dark enemies like cursed elves and necromancers will drop DM, and from time to time, you'll come across puddles that you can gather raw dark matter from as well. Dark matter is only used to purchase perks while visiting Mr. Hankey at the Porta-Potty in Cartman's backyard. So on the topic of perks, there's really 3 general directions in the perk tree. The first one has a limb that focuses on health, there's another with a damage focus, and the last one on energy levels. For me personally, energy was probably the least important of all of these. Unless you're trying to speedrun with a group of friends, I would definitely say that the health and damage limbs offer much more bang for buck and make these runs much easier. The perks honestly really aren't all that interesting, and only some of them seem particularly useful, but they will progressively become more expensive. Now with that said though, you will have the option to refund DM points at any time from Cartman's backyard, should you choose to try a different direction here. The last currency in South Park Snow Day, and in my personal opinion, the least important, is PP, or platinum pieces. Similar to dark matter, this is a permanent currency in that whatever you accumulate through a run, you don't lose. However, with that said, platinum pieces are also unlike the other 2 currencies in that the only way you can collect them is by unlocking certain challenges that award PP. Thankfully, the challenges aren't overly difficult to complete, and you'll get many of them just from playing through the game naturally, but if you wanted to review your unlock progress and the rewards that each unlock is tied to, you can review the Unlocks tab at any point in the game. Now, as I mentioned, this is the least important currency, at least to me. Now, I'm all for looking cool in games, especially ones like this, but the overall lack of character customization currently leaves much to be desired for these platinum pieces. You can spend PP to permanently unlock new cosmetic items at the bazaar in Cartman's backyard. Here, you might find a few cool hats and maybe the odd costume, but otherwise, I personally found it fairly lackluster. I was a little disappointed by the amount of glasses options there were, but lack of things like capes and just the overall cosmetics were fairly uninteresting. So since we've touched on all of the different currencies now in the game, I did also just want to mention the Henrietta NPC. Henrietta, obviously being one of the main goth girls in South Park, is a card vendor that deals primarily with dark cards, and you'll find throughout your runs just like Jimmy. But unlike Jimmy though, the game won't highlight where she is, and you also won't have to visit her before you can proceed to the next map. However though, she can give out very good rewards if you're able to find her in secret locations, and she seems to be included in almost every map from what I've seen. Now, I'm mentioning Henrietta in this guide as she's going to sometimes have some cards that grant you a large amount of dark matter in exchange for sacrificing a specific card, or a smaller amount of DM for basically just finding her. On top of that though, she can also draw a card that'll award you 100 TP. But again, unlike Jimmy, you can't spend TP here to re-roll her card selection, so you will have to make a decision out of what her opening hand is. Now that brings us to the end of this short South Park Snow Day currency overview guide. I hope it was able to help you. If it did, be sure to give it a like and drop us a comment. While you're here, consider subscribing to Friendly Frenzy Games for much more helpful gaming content.